You're listening to Scale Right Revolution, the show to follow if you're a high-achieving founder, business owner, or entrepreneur running a 7 to 8 figure company and you're ready to create your next level vision and make a bigger impact without missing out on life. I'm Tori Boats, an award-winning serial entrepreneur and the creator of an unconventional strategic advisory company where our mission is to help you revolutionize how you scale and pursue your most ambitious goals yet, while feeling lit up in your business every day. You deserve to live a fulfilling, wealthy life, balanced with family, friends, rest, and joy. So let's dive in. And before we do, hit that follow or subscribe button. When you look back on your business growth, you remember it was hard. You were scrappy. You woke up at the crack of dawn to get a head start and stayed up after your kids went to bed to get a little more work done. There was this customer or two that you wish you never took on, or this deal that you made that didn't pan out quite like you imagined. You've grinded it out to get where you are, and now you're ready for bigger things. You may be wondering, there's so much on my plate already. How am I possibly going to get more done? And if I want to get to the next level to grow my company to that next big milestone, it must mean it's going to take me double or triple or 10x the work I'm already doing. So you're in this no-win place of feeling driven to grow, excited by the possibilities, yet sacrificing so much already, feeling exhausted and busy. And even though your business may be sustainable right now, you know how hard you worked to get to this point. And you can't imagine having to add more to your already full plate. But what if 10x growth didn't mean you had to spend 10x the effort? What if you could use the hard-won lessons you've already been through to inform how you do things differently this round? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today in this episode, where 10x growth doesn't mean 10x the effort. Welcome to our special 10x Grow Your Business series, where I'm sharing the aha moments that come up when you're ready to make a significant leap in your business and you want to build sustainable growth without compromising your health, happiness, or freedom. I hope to make you stop and say, wait a minute, I don't have to do life or business that way anymore. I have the power to change, to rethink the next phase and move around the obstacles. This series will challenge your thinking in a good way to show you that owning a business isn't just about going hard or bust. Growth is about more than just the money, and you can create wealth beyond practices from the 1950s or some syndicated funnel formula that sucks you in like a vortex. It's time to energize your creativity and do things your way. So how do you do things differently this round when you either don't know what it will take exactly, or you imagine the huge transformations ahead of you and it feels daunting, like so much work? Well, you're right, first of all. There are significant changes you have to make if you're planning to grow your business 10x, or even to double your business or triple your business. The first thing to note is these changes don't have to happen all at once. So there's 3 little lessons I can share with you here. And the first is looking back at your current business trajectory. When you look at the systems, the processes, and the team you have in place now, they weren't there from day one. Even if you only have a part-time helper or a freelancer helping you out, or your team is small and mighty. So this is how my first business unfolded. From day one, we didn't start out making 8-figure, which is multiple $1-million revenue every single year. We started out small. In fact, I started out with just me working on a contract for a client, for a customer. That was my first contract. And it was a subcontract, which simply means that somebody else held the main contract with the government customer, and I came in to augment their staff. as not like a freelancer, but kind of like so. We call it a subcontractor. That was day one. I didn't even know how to bill my customer. I didn't have an invoicing system. I didn't have everything set up to meet the audits that federal regulations require. I just knew how to do the job I was doing. And I walked into a rate, which is how much I charged the prime contractor, who then charged the end user, which is my government contractor. I just made up some kind of rate. And I said, I think this is about the going rate. This feels right. How about this? And they took it. And so I just started working. As my business grew, I set milestones along the way that started with headcount, as in, how many people do I want to employ to serve more clients? Because I could only serve so many. And I stair-stepped my way into more people, and I set goals for the company. I had one employee who said to me, how do we get to the point where we have a 401k? That's really important to me. And I agreed with her. Saving for retirement was one of the very first financial lessons I learned from my mother. Always pay yourself first. So we set a goal. When we get to 10 employees, we will add a 401k. Now, she asked when we had 6 employees. So I didn't even start with a full buffet of benefits at that time. And we got there eventually. And then we hit the next milestone. And I had another question. When are we going to have titles and roles? I want to be able to know that I can progress in my career, says another employee. And I said, well, I don't know how to have you advance your career here in this business. Now, mind you, I was 25. I'd never really had a business of this type before. And I was pretty new in the business world as it was. I had come in to this whole world of the industry that I was in from the military. So I didn't even start out of high school right into a job. I went to college, I went to the military at the same time, and then I landed in several different small business arenas. And they don't exactly teach you all of this stuff, even in your MBA program. I was simultaneously enrolled in this program while I was running my own business, and we never covered some of the things that I consider the basics of business. As we grew through the years, we added not only the benefits and the different things you think of with a corporate business, like the structure of job roles and an ascension ladder for employees to grow and develop, we also added departments. And at first, those departments were a person to help take a hat off of my plate. I can't wear all the hats. I have too much going on. This is the one I don't enjoy doing the most. I've learned everything I can here. I want to hire an expert to help me. And from there, we grew teams of people, and those teams of people needed leaders. So you can see how this evolution can evolve for your own business. Remember, it doesn't have to happen all at once. Point 2, the second lesson, is to realize that you have a speed gain now because of what you've learned. You're not starting where you were your first day of ever having a business. You've learned so much. That gives you speed. So you're not starting in that same place. And how does what you've learned inform what you'll do next? So let me take you to the second business I set up. The setup went so much quicker because I already knew about partnerships and equity structures. I already knew about how to sell and buy my own business. So that was pretty quick. I didn't have to do all of that research over again. And I'd been through an equity structure several times before that. So I already knew the ins and outs of different types of structures. And I knew what kind of partnerships I wanted to bring into my business. I had already identified some potential partners, and we started the discussions. Within the first week of my knowing I wanted to do that, to bring in partners. I had knowledge of the industry. I knew who to contact. I knew who the big players were in the industry, so I didn't have to do all of that part of the research. I also knew who to trust, who I got along with, and who liked me and liked what I brought to the table. I had developed those relationships not only with other businesses in my industry, but also with the clients and the customers. And I developed the same types of relationships in adjacent markets, adjacent industries. You may call them verticals. You know the staff that you need to hire. If you've already been in business and you've already hired people of a similar type, you already know what that process looks like. You know what to look for in their skills, and you know the red flags that you've hit in the past. So, where I've rushed on these things in the past, I knew what could wait, and I knew what I needed to take action on then. It went so much faster. So, you have to remember in your own context that when you're looking to take your business to the next level, you may not know what that next level looks like. You might not know the exact internal structure that you need, which is perfectly understandable. But have the confidence that you will figure it out as you go. Are there some quick shortcuts you can take? Hells yes. Of course there are shortcuts you can take. Do I mean skipping steps? Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes you don't need the step, especially when you're small and agile and nimble. You can afford to be flexible. But there are some things that you may not have ever done before, and you want to get them right, especially when it comes to building out your team. So those are some things that you can use lessons learned from other people, whether they're a mentor or a formal relationship like a coach. So there are definitely shortcuts you can take, but don't discount what you already bring to the table. That is your speed game. And lesson number 3, we can't leave out the mindset piece. Now, you know from episode 1 that I'm really big on mindset because that for me was missing from my life for so long. It's crucial to your success, especially now because you always have this fallback to settle into your current business, which is successful. When you're faced with a challenge, it can be really tempting to stay here, to stay in this chill zone. But know that you'll be successful. Trust yourself. Trust in your own capability to be successful even when you don't know what lies ahead. What evidence do you have of that? Well, aren't you successful now? Of course you are. So use that. Use that to propel you forward. And use it to get over any little inklings of imposter syndrome or that negativity thinking that says, oh, you can't do it. It'll be hard. You don't know how. Go back to that. I trust myself to figure it out. I know I can do it because I've done it before. Don't let the worry drive. You can invite it into the car, but it doesn't get to drive. And lesson number 4, start with a clear vision. Paint that path forward of what you want your business to be and imagine how it could unfold. Remember from episode 1 that your thoughts change from incremental actions you need to take and help you need to hire to the exponential ideas about whole systems you'd put in place, the things you'd have to do differently if you're going to 10x your company. If you didn't catch that episode, you won't need it to get value out of this episode, so keep listening, and you can go back and listen after you finish this one. So let's imagine for a minute. I invite you to take that journey of your business doubling, tripling, 10xing in size, first through your mind. Watch it unfold. Let's do this quick brain exercise together. Okay, if you're not driving and you're at a place where you can close your eyes, I invite you to close your eyes. That allows your mind to really open up. Think about today. And now take yourself forward in time, 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, forward to a point where your business is doubling. Watch it double. Now watch it triple. Now watch it go to 10 times its size. At 10 times its size, take a look around in your mind's eye. What do you see? What did you see as you traveled with your business forward through that double and triple? It may have been fuzzy, and that's perfectly okay. Chances are something was tumbling about. Something was moving as you were hitting those milestones. And now, as you look forward and look around from that place of 10 times the size, what do you see? Who is around you? What does your office look like? What does it feel when you walk into your office space? Perhaps you don't walk into the office. Perhaps it's completely virtual. How does it feel when you connect with the people who work in your company? You may decide that there aren't a lot of people working in your company, and that's okay too. What does that look like? What are you doing on a day-to-day basis? How are you spending your time differently than you spend your time now? So take a nice, deep, calm breath and come back to the room. Now, that is a really short exercise, something that I take my clients through with much more detail, but it gives you a start. It gives you that start to try it on for size. Did you like it? Did you like where you were, who you were with? Did you like what your business was doing? Did it come up blank? I have a funny story. I remember going through a similar exercise where I put myself in this blank room of white, and I was supposed to be looking in this big book of knowledge, which was my history. And I was flipping the pages forward in this imagination, this guided visual, and it was blank. Every page was blank. I literally had no idea what my future was going to look like. I just knew that I had more in me, more drive. And do you know how disconcerting that was? I was so frustrated because I just wanted the answer. And I had to sit with nothingness. Now, hopefully, you have some idea of why you want to 10x your business. And if it's not 10x, perfectly fine. Why do you want to grow your business? You see, when I did that exercise, I didn't know. I just knew I had this drive. And you know what's funny is that ended up being enough down the line because I had to find my why. I had to figure out what was so important to me to grow this business that wasn't related to money. Because I could easily tell you the amount of money I wanted to make, the amount of wealth I wanted my life to have, but I had no clue how I was going to get there. So that is a very different problem. That starts with what internal change do you want to make in your own life? And when you're at the point where you know you're destined to go to the next level with your business, you can start to imagine how your business would evolve. How will it become this next part of itself? So to break down, one of the most significant changes is replicating yourself and hiring a robust client delivery system. That may be a change that you see or you saw in your vision. So let's look at how you might do this. There's 3 steps. The first step is the initial brain dump. Take the vision that you have. Feel free to sit with it longer to pull all the details into it as you walk through that day. What did you see? Who was with you? What are the jobs being done? What are the clients you're serving? What are their results? That is a perfect place to start, is what change are you affecting in the world that you're creating, in the world that you're changing? That initial brain dump will give you clues as to what you need to do next. So let's say you need a more robust client delivery team because you're serving more clients. The second step would be hiring a team of 5. Maybe that's what you have. I had a client come to me with this exact issue. She was an interior designer and she had enough work to fill up her plate. She wanted to grow her company bigger. She decided, I want to grow by 5 team members to serve more clients, and I want them to initiate my designs, my design aesthetic with those clients. And the reason she wanted to do this was because her one-on-one was full, and she really valued the time that she had with her kids. She had kids at home. She'd burned out in a prior life, so freedom and flexibility, control over her time were immensely important to her. And so was growing her business. She still had ambition. How does she balance that while still trying to grow a team? She was dead set on protecting her time. But she couldn't see a way to get through to this growth milestone. So if you're looking to increase your client delivery system and you want to grow by 5, you could choose to do it all at once. Or you could choose to do it one at a time. And one at a time in a way that allows you to grow at scale could be, what if you hire 5 people on a part-time trial basis? That way, you're managing the workload that you're giving them. You're evaluating if they're capable of achieving your design aesthetic. Are they willing to look that way? Are they willing to bend what they view as a design aesthetic to yours? And are you, as the owner, the chief person responding to clients, going to be able to shift in what your role is, be more hands-off? So she was growing as a leader at the same time as she was growing her team. So there could be, for your scenario, incremental ways at scale that you could achieve a large team quickly without going crazy and exploding. Because if they're part-time at first, it helps with your cash flow. If they're part-time and on a trial basis, it helps with your confidence that you're hiring the right people and that you know how to train the next set of client delivery folks. So that's an incremental step that you can take on an exponential level by doing it with scale, hiring 5 at once, but not really diving all the way into the pool. And step 3 is to look at your money. You have a challenge here. Organic growth can be slow, but it can help you afford the investment of the growth. And you can take an exponential look at that without having to 10x your loan. Because when we think about 10x the effort to 10x growth, you're also thinking about how much money is it going to take to get me to that next level? And what challenge can I rise to slow down a bit and make the progress you need to make in the changes that are giving you the tell signs? So if your plan is to grow with the number of people in an exponential way, you need evidence that what you're changing is actually making a difference in the right direction before you sink a bunch of money into it. I mean, that's the way I like to do it, is how can I be wise to prove that I have leading indicators telling me that I'm doing the right things? And a leading indicator is simply setting a measure and looking at it consistently to see if you notice a difference. I like to set my assumptions as measures, and I like to set the growth and my spend rate as measures. Am I growing? Meaning, am I getting revenue, more customers? And when you're looking at more revenue, it's just as important to look at retention of your clients and retention of your assets, which could be your client delivery employees. Those are factors that are going to play into if the changes that you're making are sustainable. Because we all want continuous growth. And continuous growth can be hard because you're constantly making up for loss, or it can be easier, meaning you're building upon the base that you already have without losing the base, without attrition happening in your base or erosion happening. So that can be the challenge. That's the step 3, the part of the implementation that you're going to want to watch as you make growth. Is it paying off? So a little pro tip here. When you're looking too far down the road and you feel scared of all the work that you have coming at you, that means you're looking in the wrong direction. Instead, leap yourself forward in time and look backward at all the little things you did to arrive here at this future state of you, which is successful at where you want to go. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Scale Right Revolution. If you found this episode helpful, you'll be blown away by what we can accomplish together. Here are 2 next best steps. Step number 1, if you want to take this conversation further, be sure to sign up for the Scale Right Revolution Superfans. This is a community of highly successful 7, 8, and 9-figure entrepreneurs, business owners, and founders who want to drive extraordinary results in their business and continue to grow at the highest level without missing out on life. This is who I send my best tips and expertise to, all wrapped up in a weekly newsletter. Recently, I shared the inside scoop on what to do when you lose sight of the big picture and aren't sure if all your hard work is moving the needle. To get access to this exclusive content, hop on over to toriboats.com/superfan and sign up. As a special thank you, you'll get your first insider scoop, access to the 5 strategies you need to do business differently if you want to reach the next level in your business without losing yourself in the process, including the key questions you should be asking yourself before making any major decision. Head on over to toriboats.com/superfan and sign up now. And number 2, if you're already on the list, then what are you waiting for? Schedule a call with me. We can figure out which of my services would be a good fit for you. I have a variety of ways to support you in helping you grow your business through a 360-degree smart strategy, plus identifying gaps and connecting the dots to a solution custom made for you is my superpower. Hop on over to toriboats.com/services and grab a spot on my calendar at the bottom of the page. That's toriboats.com/services.